Guys, welcome to London. Queen and King of the Courts here for the very first time, indoors. And we thought, as it was a weekend of firsts, we would launch our very own podcast series, Crowncast. So myself, Lewie, and I'm surrounded by Olympic gold medalists here. Sometimes I forget that, as we've all become such good friends. But Rich Lambourne to the left of me, Julius to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle of both of you. Boys, what a journey. It's going to be a bi-weekly podcast. The mastermind of you, sir. You must be pretty excited about it.
Yeah, to be honest, we tried it a couple of times and there were some issues. Sometimes we've not been happy about the format, and I'm very, very delighted to bring this live and make that happen. And as you just said, it's about not being the first podcast in the world of beach volleyball, but I think we can put some unique things on the tape, and I'm very, very happy that you guide us through this first episode.
I hope we could add some value, big fella.
That's the hope. That's the hope anyways. We'll have to wait and see, I suppose.
That's what I say. Okay, so here it is. We're going to be with you every 2 weeks. You're going to find us wherever you download your podcasts. Crowncast is what you're looking for. And we're going to have some video podcasts like this. So sometimes we're going to be at home. You're going to get to know us a little bit better throughout the year. Every 2 weeks, a brand new podcast. And just like this amazing format, Queen King of the Court, where there's a round every 15 minutes, we have a round every 15 minutes as well. I just have to make sure I can remember my passcode. So as soon as I start the buzzer, we go round 1. Then we have a little entertainment break. Then we go round 2 and round 3. Does that sound... We're all aligned here, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do we actually lose someone after round 1?
I think I'd be struggling, wouldn't I? I don't know if I'd even last 15 minutes here. Okay, so first 15 minutes, purely catch up, purely us guys, because we haven't seen each other for, what, 5 months?
Yeah.
It's been a little while.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, ready? I'm going to come in that camera. Oh, there we go. Going to come find you on that camera. 15 minutes, starting from now. Rich Lambourne. 2 days ago, you were on the sunny beaches of Southern California without a shirt on. How's the adjustment been here? You're having to wear some clothes, which is a rarity. But you're here in rainy, cold London.
Yeah, I had to dig through my luggage and find something with sleeves.
You have anything?
Yeah, I managed to find. Luckily, I just got this. I was up at my alma mater. I went to school at BYU, and the coach up there is a good friend of mine. Luckily, he gives me some swag every time I go up there. So I got my fresh BYU men's volleyball shirt, and I'm doing my best out here.
College do stash really well, don't they, clothing?
Yeah, you can see that improvement in the US, especially on the women's side. There are a bunch of athletes coming in a very young stage into a very, very dangerous quality. Like I've never seen so many players. I mean, we probably talk about Sweden on the men's side, but I've never seen so many young female players hitting on the international best stage in that performance level. That's a very, very good pick by the US. Yeah,
In nice clothing too.
Well, that's kind of a newer thing since when I played, but now schools are just, blanket sponsored by Nike or Under Armour or whatever, and so the level of swag is solid.
JB, you arrived earlier in the week. You went to Manchester, Leverkusen, up against Man City. You had the time of your life. I mean, winning a gold medal in London was probably the time of your life, but it must have been a close second.
I was waiting for that question all over that day. It was fantastic. I mean, you know that I'm a big soccer fan, and I also love to see matches of the Premier League. And unfortunately, I have never seen a Premier League match, but I've been following my club, Bayer Leverkusen, quite a while for the last 3 years.
What sort of fan are you? Do you sing? Do you
sing,
shout abuse?
I sing, and I actually, when I enter the stadium, I'm kind of a Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing. Like, I definitely switch into another personality. But
I do as well.
Since my son is with me, he's 10 years old. My son is with me since last season. So actually, I cannot say in front of him to the referee, the opponents, what I'm willing to say in that moment, because I'm really often political incorrect what I address to the referee or other people around there. And every time I leave, I'm like Pep Guardiola, just actually the last week, and he just grabbed on the cameraman and he said like, if I see that, I'm embarrassed about myself, and every time I leave the stadium, I'm embarrassed about my own behavior. So
I'm the same.
Yeah, even my
that
son.
and coaching volleyball. Those two things. Those
Even
two
my
things absolutely kill
my
me.
son often comes to me and things like saying like, "Dad, you always told me not to say that, but in the stadium you actually do." So I'm that kind of fan. But I'm a diehard Leverkusen fan.
Are you a couple of beers beforehand guy?
No, not.
Or
I'm not.
are you a snacks
No,
guy?
I'm never drunk. I'm actually really interested into the match. I like to.
got
to
no
see,
excuses.
What kind of tactic we're going for, and then then we got this tournament announced, and then I always, if I go to England or wherever on the UK, like I always try to watch a match or do something combined with soccer, and unfortunately I have to leave on Sunday quite early because my daughter is having a ballet class and I have to join. So I'm missing one of my favorite players, Florian Wirtz, who is playing for Liverpool or might not be playing for Liverpool at that Sunday against West Ham, which I thought might be a good match. But then I found out there's a Champions League match, Man City versus my club, and that's why I went 2 days earlier.
Perfect timing. Sorry, I'm just going to check back in. You have to do ballet.
No, it's actually my daughter is having a class, but
I know
I'm joining her. I support her. I bring her to that ballet class, and it's a nice sport to watch. It's completely different spectrum.
Did you ever hear about Julius Brink when he won the Olympic Games, and obviously he went prime time? You went pretty big in Germany when you won the Olympics, right? Quite famous.
Yeah.
So he got invited on reality TV shows like Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, I was in a costume like a ballet dancer often on that Friday night. Yeah,
And it was on primetime television.
Yeah, may we go to the next topic, please? I don't want people to search for that picture.
It's YouTube. You can find it. Julius Brink Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, you're going to find some.
How are the nerves with that compared to playing in London for an Olympic gold medal
I was
or a world championship?
way more nervous because, it's many million are watching that, and you are having a dress that you could wear for carnival, but maybe at a bachelor party, but not in public.
We all know that he
kind of
thrived off it, right?
Yeah.
Like you're sort of sitting here semi-embarrassed, but we all know this is like right up your alleyway.
Let's sum it up. Like playing the Olympic final was way easier for me than dancing in front of a million.
You have a little black
people.
book for the dancing?
Yeah, I was working a bit with that because I came into a different topic. I mean, dancing and beach volleyball is a completely different thing. Like in beach volleyball, you try to bring the ball on the ground, and in dancing, you try to make things look nice for others. I mean, I never did that experience in my life before, but it was really worth to do it, not just for my personal experience, but also for an athlete. Like if you are a professional athlete, I would also recommend, if you want to work on your footwork, your expression, all these things. I mean, that has been a proof that Dirk Nowitzki actually he learned to play the piano, to just having different things in his brain development, getting knots together, and it helps a lot for footwork. I would recommend that as a recipe to every player, where footwork or good position to a ball is a big value.
Amazing.
There's a great documentary called Pumping Iron with Arnold Schwarzenegger in his build up to the.
Have you seen it?
I have seen it many times.
That's
It's
my
his build
surprise
up
face.
to the 1975 Mr. Olympia, right? But the very opening scene of that is him and his good friend Franco Colombo, another bodybuilder, working with a ballet instructor on some of the movement for like their posing routines and whatever. The fluidity of movement, like you're saying, it just lends itself to lots of different disciplines, right? That ability to sort of control your body and so forth.
Have you ever fancied doing some shows?
Oh no.
You ever been posing?
No, that's not my intent.
That's not your intent?
With the fitness. I don't know that I like the trunks that.
Yeah, I was going to
pose
say I could see you in the little trunks.
The spray tan and the manscaping necessary.
No? You and Chaddy.
Yeah.
Not for you. Richie, you've had a busy few months. I mean, I sort of like, we keep in touch all the time anyway, but you've gone to the World Champs, you've been AVP League, you've been covering some stuff from home as well, some college. Like, it's been a great year, really, for you from a broadcast perspective in terms of experiences and getting out there.
Yeah, I would agree with you. It's been fun to be involved in a bunch of different disciplines. It was nice to be back on the indoor side. You know, that's kind of my forte. Really, I've been on the beach for almost a decade now, but going to the World Championships in the Philippines was amazing to see the level the game is at now. I mean, you know, it's been 12, 13 years since I played as well, and things have evolved so much, it seems like. You know, I don't know what you think, Julius, watching the modern beach game, but I watch the modern indoor game and go, there's no chance I could have played out there.
No.
At this point, I mean, it's crazy how good the athletes are and how exciting that experience was, and so to be there was awesome.
I mean, when I'm watching Champions League or doing European Champs, and in the past, it's bonkers. And I'll be back on the Champions League very soon, but it just every year it gets better and better and better. So yeah, how's the Philippines for you? I mean, if I was to put you anywhere in the world as a visitor, I don't know if the Philippines would be your spot, but find a Five Guys?
No, I did not. But we're right next to the Mall of Asia, so there were plenty of, you know, kind of terrible food options if that's what you want to call the American chains, which is probably accurate. Yeah, the experience was great. That was really my first time in Southeast Asia, but I was mainly just back and forth from the hotel to the arena for 2.5 weeks. But the people, they're amazing. I mean, the Philippine people are so nice everywhere you encounter them, and especially in their country. Yeah, and the arena was insane. Obviously, the spectacle that Volleyball World and the FIVB put on for such a huge event is amazing, and the level of competition was awesome. Bulgaria making it all the way to the final was insane. The young Nikolovs. I mean, yeah, it's pretty exciting to see young stars already, not only in the making, but just already arrived almost, right? And then of course Italy winning back-to-back World Championships is pretty amazing.
And how's everything else? How's the lifting?
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay with it.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. You're looking good, mate. You get bigger and bigger.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I had the same in India. I just come back from India for a month, and it's the same. The people there are amazing, but I think I managed one day off in, I think it was 4 weeks. So I think I actually got out for a day there, and we shot some content. But the rest of the time, it very much is like league, or go to the venue, back to the hotel. You sort of do a little bit in the morning if you can, but yeah, I think sometimes, and I mean, I'm definitely not moaning about the lifestyle of this because it's absolutely phenomenal. But I think people have this idea that when we go places, we actually get to like immerse ourselves in the culture. And I mean, we did in Brazil. That was a good trip. When we went to Brazil to Niterói, I think we had a lot of time on our hands.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time, you're sort of trying to fight schedules or trying to get somewhere at some point, or there's always a task that needs to be done. Yeah.
Niterói was very, very good. I actually gained 2 kilograms because of that acai.
I've never seen a guy so happy in Brazil than this guy. It's like wherever he can find acai, it's like, 4 times a day?
We didn't have to walk quite far to find a spot with a very, very good quality of food. Yeah, it was really nice.
Where's been so far your best place, your best venue in the world to watch beach volleyball or to play? What's your favorite spot?
That's tough to answer. I definitely stick to Horse Guards Parade because it's overwhelming with that emotion. Even though if you go now, you would never expect that there has been a big beach volleyball stadium placed at that time.
That makes it special though, doesn't it?
It makes it very special to come back, but I must also say the Paris Eiffel Tower, I just watched matches there. I didn't play, but that was an amazing venue. But like when I look back to that starting or training periods, I also like these very calmed down beaches where we just build up our own nets. I mean, the beach itself looks quite pure. You're very close to the water. Mount Maunganui, for example, is one
amazing, isn't
one
it?
amazing.
I've heard some
beach
stories
in
from
New
you
Zealand.
about in Mount Maunganui. Maybe we save them for a later,
Yeah, maybe you
a
save that,
later
yeah.
show. We'll get Kirk Pittman on the podcast, and he can tell us some Julius Brink stories for sure.
What's your best Klagenfurt story?
My best Klagenfurt story is that, you know, we, until the very end of my career with Jonas, we never did good in Klagenfurt because I struggled to deal with that. Like you come traveling to Klagenfurt. Klagenfurt always happened at the latest stage of the world tour. You are not on your fittest. You are then overwhelmed with that status that it just had at that time. Like you came to Klagenfurt and there were fans like asking for autographs at your pickup station for your bags. Just leaving the plane, and there were like autograph runners, or like that usually doesn't happen in a normal tournament to you as a beach volleyball player. So, and I was often struggling with playing in that big arena. Like I was struggling with that in Beijing and also some other world championships before in Stade. We never did good when it comes to the bigger arena and the bigger stages. And there's one more thing that, I mean, the Germans in Austria, you cannot ask for support over there. Like when you play against Brazil, it's for sure the whole stadium is they are fair, but it's a big support for Brazil and almost no support for you. and there I experienced some behavior which you usually see on soccer stadiums, like not rude, but
You had a taste of your own medicine.
yeah, exactly. And I was struggling with dealing with that, and I often lost focus, and I was starting to fight with the audience then, which is not a good idea if it comes to a 10,000 people stadium. And but next to that, I mean, I'm very happy that people are still talking about it. I mean, it's kind of 10 years ago, we actually had probably the last event in Klagenfurt. Then it went to Vienna, and it's still an iconic tournament, which we now talk about. This shows the legacy that Hannes actually built for that. And even though I never won it, I think we lost in a final once. It still has a big value, and I'm looking back to that wonderful location.
Thanks, guys. 14 minutes 59 seconds. 0.97. 300s off.
And
not,
I don't
not
have
bad
to.
for the boys. Not bad for the boys.
I don't have to leave now, right?
No, it's a great story though. So sorry to interrupt that. As this goes, we're going to be going into the next 15 rounds, which is all about the next 15 minutes, which is all about the World Championships. So we know that I love the World Champs. I've been to 3 or 4, and you've won 1, and that was pretty outstanding. 2009. 2009.
Yeah, it was 2009 in Stavanger. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to talk all about that, but first, in between, this is going to be my favorite bit of the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to have some health tips from you, Rich, over the next few weeks. Get us going, big dog. I'm intrigued to know. I've been with you while you've been in Five Guys. I've seen you eat McDonald's, but you are in some nick, big fella.
Yeah, you get the dark side, the behind the scenes look at
maybe look at you
behind the curtain.
You're a man mountain.
It's the Wizard of Oz. I'm working all the machinery from behind the curtain. Yeah. My only thing that I was going to talk to you guys today about, every now and then people will go, hey, how do I get in good shape? And I mean, it's kind of like this with everything. I think people think there's some magic pill to how do I get to be as good at
some weight loss jab
volleyball as you are, Julius. And really, to me, the answer I always give, as boring as it sounds, is consistency, right? Like, we didn't end up wherever we are in life overnight. It happened slowly over a period of time. And so the way we get to where we want to go has to happen the same way, right? Consistency, show up on a daily basis or at least a few times a week with some regularity, right? And just kind of slowly keep adding bricks to the house, so to speak, right?
You're a runner, right?
No, I would never call
Jogger?
myself a runner. No, it's a hate and love thing. I mean, I run from time to time, but it's never a sport which I which I would like to choose after my career to have it as the only sport I'm doing. I find it quite boring after a while, but
Ironman?
I do it for certain times. It's probably the easiest thing that you could do. Just bring your shoes and go for a run. But no, I know that Wilco is a runner. We can call him a runner.
For sure.
And he runs a lot. And I try I run from time to time. We run together on a phone call on Wednesday morning. But no, I would never call myself a runner, no.
I just keep seeing myself in this shot and keep seeing this receding hairline pop up, and I'm like, if there's anyone who wants any Turkish hairline specialists, if you want to sponsor this podcast, we're all ears, all right? So Turkish hairlines, let's go. Okay, I got a challenge for you, and I need to put myself out there a little bit because I'm an all-in or all-out guy. You probably know this about me, right? There's certain things I'm all in, and if I'm all into something, for sure, I make the change quick, or I do it to a very high standard, but if I'm out, I just neglect it. What are your tips for me in terms of I am just trying at the moment? I'll get in once or twice a week, but I won't be motivated. It's tough for me to find the motivation and to flip the diet back to where it was as well.
Well, yeah, I think you have to have a goal of some sort, right? There has to be something in the distance you're aiming towards. Right,
you say brought and paid for.
Brought and paid for. That's right. Yeah, I think it is critical to have some motivation, but even on the days that you don't, just showing up is better than staying at home, right? I think one of the pitfalls people end up in is a little bit of that all or nothing mentality, right?
Guilty.
Like I get gung-ho, especially as we approach the new year. Everyone, January 1st, 2026 is my year to get in shape or whatever.
I'm not that guy.
yeah. And so, gyms in January are jam-packed, and by February it's dropped off significantly, right? So I think if you can just manage to drag yourself in there.
How many times a week?
I would think at least 3 you gotta go in there, right? Because if you think about it this way, like...
It's so funny because in my head I'm like 5, 6, and that's maybe the issue that I have.
Well, I think if you can put in 3 good days of work, I would say 4 is better because then you're more than 50% of the time in there versus not in there. But again, there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with starting small. When people go on the crash diet, for example, and they go, oh, it's only going to be chicken and rice and vegetables and whatever, that's hard to maintain, right?
Are you a fasting guy?
No, not really. I mean, like we talked about, you've seen my diet could be cleaned up a lot.
But that needs some serious maintenance calories anyway, right?
I mean, there is that element, and I like to lie to myself and say I work hard in the gym so that I can be a little looser with the diet, which is a terrible way to think probably. But again, starting at sort of ingestible levels is much better, I think, than going, I'm going to go 6 days a week, and then that just kills you. It's hard to maintain, and so you quit altogether.
Yeah, and sometimes if I only went 4 times and then you get a bit, like, I've been guilty of that. Like I've got in 3 times in a week, and I've come out with a feeling of going, I haven't achieved this week, and that's a wild way of thinking about it.
Well, sometimes I think about this analogy, like if you have, let's say, a room in your house.
Having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son.
That's right. We got 99 problems, and this is maybe one of. If you have a room that's kind of overly messy in your house, you look at it and you go, I got to clean that up. But there's so much in there, you don't know where to start, right? And so you just keep ignoring it. And it only gets worse that way, right? But if you just work on this little corner over here, eventually it slowly cleans itself up with that sort of sustained effort, right? And so getting yourself in shape is similar.
When am I going to see you next, Rich?
It's going to be in about 3 weeks.
Okay. What are my goals? I got it right on my phone here, by the way.
Okay.
Obviously, this is a podcast, so my phone can be out.
What are we weighing right now without putting you on blast?
Beep.
Yeah. Cut the feed.
88 kilos.
88 kilos.
And I'm 1.67 m.
Okay. Well, luckily you're speaking a language I don't understand in centimeters and kilos. So what do we think is a feasible goal for 3 weeks from now? Can we get to 85 kilos, 84 kilos? You said 87?
Yeah.
All right. What if you go a kilo a week? So we'll call it 84. Yeah.
I'm going to go and weigh myself after this so I get
Okay.
the maths right.
84 kilos and 175 centimeters.
Yeah. I wish, mate. I wish. Imagine how different how different my life would be if I was. I do think this. Imagine how different my life would be if I was tall.
Julius,
Unbelievable.
that's the one that got him.
Yeah, I think I've signed up some torture here from you guys. Right, second 15 minutes. Let's go. Okay, we are going to talk all things World Championships. So, ready? Go. Adelaide. First time for a long time we've seen international beach volleyball back in Australia. Great. We had an all-Swedish final. First time ever, obviously. Sweden winning the crown. First time ever for them, which is crazy. And Latvia winning the women's, which outstanding performance from the two-time European champions. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I very much liked it to follow that tournament, even though it was tough from Europe about that time change and like different time zones we live in. But yeah, I watched that final on the men's side, and yeah, some like things on Instagram and some sets of the German team just to get a feeling for that. Like, yeah, it was quite nice, like to see beach volleyballers back in Australia. Like I really feel with these teams as nowadays a lot of European teams are I wouldn't say complaining, but they realize, okay, with the new calendar, which is definitely wider and more worldwide seen than it was at my stage, even the European teams have to travel way more.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of European teams complaining about that. But I must always say, like, look at the Americans. Like, they had to travel all over to Europe. Like, you have to do that for job reasons over here. I would never say, okay, why do we have to go to Miami? It's not in front of my house. So, and it's kind of nice that we actually open up the world tour and that we have world championships in Adelaide, or last time 2 years ago was in Mexico. I very much like it.
Yeah.
And I also like to see all that European teams going there quite early. You could see how their preparation looks like. And the world champs right now, they are on a big stage, I must say. The players' presentation looked quite Olympic for me. The quality of the games were quite nice. For sure, I've seen teams which I usually don't see on the Elite 16 thing, but that's part of the bigger program that we run at the World Champs. So I was fully satisfied. I like that quote, actually, I've seen on Instagram, having the coaches team of Sweden saying, okay, there is no chance for an all Swedish final. They said, okay, is there really no chance? I think the answer was like moon and sun has to rise at the same time. And actually, we had an all Swedish final. I very much like that. And then maybe that kind of underdogs or crowning stories for Anastasia and Tina. There was a very nice final, even with the bitter end from the US. But I think beach volleyball fans could leave that World Championship saying it was a great tournament, great show. We liked it very much.
Well, we're going to play a game. And we are going to bleed out this 12-minute round. It is going to get interesting in here, because we have got 11 and a half minutes to play World Championship, yay, or World Championship, nay. Okay? So you can choose anything. We're going to go around as a three. You can pick something that you really liked about the World Championships, or you can pick something that you didn't like about the World Championships. So, yeah, Richie, do you want to start? Are you going to start with a yay or a nay?
Well, I'll start with a yay. We like to start
low.
positively, right? Yeah, I
sometimes.
think to echo what you were saying, the visual of the World Championships was amazing. You know, I got to call a few matches just from home, and most of that was on court too. But the setting there with the river in the background, it looked great. The stadium looked amazing. So you have to applaud and yay Volleyball Australia and everybody who was involved with putting that on. Everything I heard from people that were there, the vibe all the fans in attendance was amazing. And so, it seemed like a wonderful event, top to bottom.
Perfect.
For the players, for everybody there.
Yeah.
Yay or nay?
Yay, definitely a great development for beach volleyball. Yeah. Must I echo what he said?
No,
I go for it.
you.
Okay. No, thanks for telling me. Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was pretty straightforward.
as
to be
I'm-
fair, I mean, it's called yay or nay.
Yeah.
I didn't think it needed that much explaining.
I mean, you started with a positive thing. The Americans are very positive thinking. We Germans start with a negative thing. So I think the overall performance of the German teams, like, it's hard to rate that, but overall it was something I was hoping for more. I think Ehlers and Wickler in that bronze medal match, they suffered a bit from the all-over season thing where they couldn't manage to have a proper start. I mean, a fourth place is not a bad result. It's a semi-final which they played. They lost against the world champ who crowned themselves later. But also about Sinja and Svenja, I was hoping for a bit more because
Tough draw.
A tough draw, yes, but I mean it's
Italy, round
it's
of
about
32.
I think these two teams, I mean they proved so many times that they are definitely a team that can win a medal, and not from position that maybe if the Stars and the Sun are in the right position. No, they have all quality, and they proved it so often. They even proved themselves by winning the Cape Town event. Maybe not all teams there, but nobody takes care of that. Like you have proven yourself. You can be on the number one position, and I missed that a bit in that World Champs. So the German perspective, even though some other teams made good results, ending up in the tournament on the 9th or 5th, but in overall, I was hoping for a medal, so I must say a nay.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to go. Yay. England qualified a team in the men's for the first time ever.
That's a big
nay. Unfortunately, didn't get as far as they would have wanted to.
Okay, that was very succinct. My nay, if we're continuing to go around the horn here, is
What horn?
First of all, let me start with a yay again. Congratulations to Sweden, having both your teams in the finals.
Yeah, I know where you're going here.
But I'm not in love with the fact that you can go 1-2 in your group and still come out unscathed out of pool play. I think, I don't know what the fix is for that.
Yeah.
Whether it's a double elimination bracket or something. It's twice now. So like again, it's almost half of a yay really, because you have to applaud Sweden for being in that position in both huge tournaments that they've won, the Olympics and the World Championships. They did it in Paris. They lost 2 in group play and came out. They'd lost 2 in Adelaide and came out and won the tournament. So they really crescendo and finish strong, which, you know, we love to say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But I don't feel like that, I don't know, exemplifies the height of competition if you can have 67% losses.
What an absolute stinker as well. Like, I felt sorry for Brill Wozniak. Like, you through and you're like, okay, we're going to play Sweden now.
Yeah.
And they're having a relatively good tournament until then. So it sort of messes everything up in a way.
It is weird
and that top half of the draw on the men's was wild, by the way. And that's probably my nay, as I would have.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to pick the draw, but to have so many teams. Bowman's de Groot didn't have a good tournament. Top half of the draw. Norway top half of the draw. Germany top half of the draw.
No.
And all of a sudden you're sat there going like, this is like they're all going to be knocking each other
that
out.
Is a weird part of the conversation that we all tend to get into after the fact. Like, oh, look at the easy road they had or the difficult road. To win a world championship or an Olympic Games, you have to beat everybody.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there are obviously
Correct.
easier roads on paper, but you still have to show up and win matches.
Yeah.
And anymore, on the men's and the women's side, the fields are so deep. You know,
Crazy.
I mean, look at the match you were talking about with Svenja and Sinja playing Italy that early. Neither of those teams were screwing around in pool, and that's just
that was
the depth of the field.
That was it. That was a yay for me. Is that the Kiwi girls beat Gottardi in the pool stages.
That was insane.
Huge result for the Kiwis.
I would have given you $100,000 free play again on that one. Italy,
I miss all of these. Yeah.
14-11.
Yeah, 14
Italy is up, and they served Valentina every time, and she failed to side out to win that.
Live making blocks up there.
It was 21-19. It was
crazy.
2018 something. The Kiwis beat them in that pool play match. That was insane.
Right, we got 6 minutes. Yay, nay?
Yeah, no, I would really. It's a good thing. I give away my yay and nay. I would like to echo what you just said. I'm really hoping for our sport that and this is not a topic just for the format which we played, the World Champs. It's also for the Elite 16 and other formats that we. I mean, I'm so often in a situation where I explain people outside of our sport, our format, and it's not easy to explain. And while you explain it, you come to a situation that, and if you don't succeed here, then you have another chance here. I mean, at Queen and King of the Court, for sure we have playoff rounds, and we have to explain that format, and we do it all the time. But, I mean, there are way easier formats and way fairer formats which we already had in the history of beach volleyball. For sure we went at a certain stage to the group play version instead of the double out, but there are way better options and at the end fairer options which are on the table, and I wish so hard that with probably a changeover of the Elite 16 tour, or however we call it in the next years, because there will be a big change, that we finally stick to a plan of hosting an event in the format we play that is like brutally hard on the one side, because if you don't perform in sport, you lose, but on the other side, which is also brutally fair, that the better one or the better player, better team gets through and the weaker one gets excluded at a certain stage of a tournament, and not having a second and a third chance or here and there for making it, then going to a drawing. And really we must, or I hope that we must work on that. I hope that the athletes even themselves don't push for a format that everyone is pleased in some way to have enough matches on the one side, but there must be work done, and I hope that there is a better format also for us to explain that way more easy. Yeah,
for sure. Yay or nay?
I go for a yay. Like saying one more time that I also liked how the players right now contributed or actually gave content to the fans, like I am watching that.
That's good, huh?
But by putting so much posts on Instagram, for example, like this is for me like the content I look into. I follow a bunch of players and I see their social lives. I can even follow them now. Hey, are they staying in Australia? Are they moving to New Zealand? What's their plan? I really like that players are putting their lives, their routines on Instagram, and that is a big yay, because I've never seen that on such a stage, and players are investing so much into that, where fans can be happy to get that access. You can almost feel like you're following a team through the World Champs because you're seeing their stories, their postings. I very much like it, and I spend a lot of time on Instagram. Yeah.
You do, as we all do nowadays. I'm a yay. I'm going to go Tina, and the performance of her and Anastasia in the first set against Nuss and Brasher completely limited the very, very excellent Nuss to what she could do. Brought her inside. That was a yay for me. And they had to come out firing, and they did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to nay that, because I would have loved to see the Americans win that. But, my yay is going to be the depth of field again, just to sort of reiterate that. I'm
going to trump you with a nay.
Okay.
That I missed so many legends, I told you this yesterday, in the field. So much depth, I agree with you, yay.
Yeah.
My nay is I missed like the likes of Bauer not being there, Musa not being there, Nikolai not being there, Ludwig not being there, Agatha not being there, and I feel like the sport's lost so many big names in the last 2 or 3 years, and that become really apparent to me during the World Champs. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Please go.
It is unfortunate to age and see all the legends of the game retire, and I mean, how bright is the future of the sport with the depth of the field that there is now? I mean, you're talking about your German girls that where'd they finish in the round of 32? They get a 17th or something, having won the previous elite event, right? I mean, that's just how strong the women's field is, and we talked a little bit about the collegiate system in the U.S. that is not only fostering American players but lots of internationals as well going over and getting those repetitions. So it's fantastic to see, and that makes the triumph of Tina and Anastasia all the more impressive, I think.
Yeah, it really does. And they've won 2 European Championships. And they've always been knocking on the door, but I feel like they haven't hit full throttle this year, and they certainly did. Right, that is yay and nay. That is round 2 done. That is 15 minutes done. Okay, in between, entertainment 2. We are going to Helsinki, ladies and gentlemen, in December. Have you been to Helsinki in December? Of course you haven't. Nor have we. We haven't been there in December either. But I tell you what, we're going. And hopefully, so are you. Get your tickets now to Helsinki. There's nowhere else you want to be. You think this is cold and we're indoors? Wait till you go to Finland just before Christmas. You're going to need loads of layers, Richie. And I can't wait because Finland are fantastic for volleyball. And it's going to be some entertainment. Do you like reindeers, Julius?
Very much.
Get yourself to Helsinki. Do you like reindeer soup, Richie?
Well, I haven't tried it, but I'm excited to.
Nor would you. No, yeah, I'm excited to. I know you. You're a man of routine.
That's true.
You're such a man of routine.
Busted.
Okay, so we are going not only to Helsinki, but we are coming back to Utrecht later on in the year for the ultimate mashup. You don't want to miss that. Who was your favourite team last time?
Hasn't it been Anders Small playing with Adrian Karambula?
Crazy.
That was my favorite. Yeah.
Your favourite team last time?
I got to go with the champions, Katja and Laura. Yeah.
Unreal. And this time, I'm excited to see who pairs up. I've already had Brower on my phone being like, who do I play with? Shall I let them know who I recommended?
Yeah.
Tio Rotar.
There you go.
I was like, go get yourself Tio Rotar, Brower, and see what you two can muster up. Okay, round 3. We are going again. 15 minutes. All about London. I have a sheet here just in case. Okay, ready. 15 minutes starting from now. We're here in the beautiful Crystal Palace. This is my old ends. I used to live here. It's been a great couple of days, isn't it, boys, already?
Yeah, London is like an iconic city. I always love to be here. We're like quite south, like out of the city center. I mean, you can say that way better than I do, but I mean, flying into that city, you always have great feelings. It's about Christmas time, so people are preparing for that.
Get yourself to Oxford Street now.
Yeah.
Next couple of days, it'll be, yeah,
it's
be like a Christmas movie.
It's just great. I mean, for sure, the Olympics in 2012 makes that very special for me, but it's always nice to be here. It's like a city, like
Do you
New
realise
York.
there's a group of young lads at home throughout this tournament who are doing a drink every time somebody mentions 2012 this week?
Oh, is there?
Yeah, for the sand and everything. So yeah,
Okay.
keep mentioning it.
Okay, yeah.
You're
In
gonna get
2012.
Yeah, you're going to get people mullered.
Going back in time in 2012.
Another shot, boys.
Yeah, it's a great city, definitely. Yeah.
It really is. I mean, you haven't been here since 2012. You're telling me, and I mean, I'm hoping that you get a little bit of both of you get a little bit more of real London life while you're here, because it's a tough time in the UK at the moment, but it's a vibrant city and there's so much character going around. But look behind us. I had no idea you could transform this arena into something so sort of vibrant and fun, and having walked past it 1,000 times, no joke, I never imagined having a beach volleyball event in here. They've done a great job, our team, haven't they?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have a unique perspective because you know what it looks like without this. I mean, kind of my thought is it looks amazing. It looks like it was tailor-made to fit in this space, but you know otherwise. And it's just a tribute to our team at Sportworks, having to wheelbarrow in buckets of sand and so forth to make this happen.
And the ball's doing a bit in here, isn't it? Yeah, yesterday the ball was floating a lot.
Yeah, it's like typical indoor situation, I must say. Like playing indoors can be a training facility which we often then use for events, like in the Netherlands and Den Haag they had a world-class tournament. But I must say that the floating situation here is so special because it's for sure it's covered, but it's a big hall in here. Like you can do sky balls over here. So for sure it is indoor and covered, but it is like having like some outdoor vibes, I must say. Like we have a full stand. We're not feeling tiny in here. Like players can throw up that ball almost like they do in indoor, where they also have big roofs. And that's why I also think the floating of that ball for sure is different indoors and outdoors. And it is a factor throughout the whole tournament. Everybody said that yesterday, and we were going to see that. That maybe the more limited server, man or woman, who is not going for the full ace, can now have a big impact on serving strategy. So we definitely don't see
that was some food. This beer's coming past us. Ooh.
We definitely see in the tactics of the team not just one single player going for the full swing. So they alternate way more, because putting a good float serve is not a question of height or something like that. So that is a big factor, which creates some trouble in passing. That also has an influence of not always having a solid side-out play. And I mean, that's what our format is for. Like, we want to have that stress on the teams. That's why I mean, we're starting day 2 today, and that's why I love it so much. It's a great venue.
Yeah, it really is. Right, I have a question. I have questions for you. You played 2012. You played 2012. I was a big spectator in 2012. I went to 2016 as a commentator on table tennis, but 2012 I was a big fan. I got tickets. I was there when you won it. It was really cool. What would be your best stories, non-volleyball related, from the London 2012 Olympics? One of mine was I watched GB versus Australia at Earls Court. Got caught speeding on the way home. Yeah.
You what?
I got caught speeding on the way home. I remember that. I drove back. I'll never forget that. I remember having a great night out in London after going to. I can't remember what I went. I think I went and saw hockey.
So how much was that fine for speeding on your way home? Is it quite expensive?
Yeah, not too bad. I don't think 50 pounds.
Oh, that's okay.
The worst one I got was when I briefly went to Australia. Briefly moved to Australia. Briefly being the key word. I got caught with my phone on my lap. Don't do that at home. I thought I was fine in the UK. It's okay if it's on speaker, and it was my mum. Exactly, shouldn't be penalised. If it's your mum, you shouldn't have to.
And you probably almost went to prison for that. Yeah,
yeah.
They are very strict on that. Huh?
And I left the country pretty quick anyway. Not for that reason, but yeah. So it is what it is. See what happens when I go back there. Best non-volleyball related story, Rich. Come on, you must have millions from that.
No, I do not. It's an interesting. My
you generally
London,
just watch forgetting Sarah Marshall the whole time.
No, that was the 2008 games.
Okay.
But it's interesting to have the sort of diametrically opposed Olympic experiences where you win one, and then we won our group here in London, so we came out seeded first, but we ended up playing an Italy team who kind of had some mixed results in their group, so they came out fourth, and that was a bad matchup for us. We didn't play very well, and so we were out in fifth. And so things come to an end fairly abruptly. And the last thing I was looking to do was to stick around in the village and watch the Italians who lived further away from the dining hall than we did in there. So they would walk past every day, and I was just like, you know.
The dining halls are unbelievable, though.
Yeah. No, it's great. And it's.
I snuck into one in Rio, to be bluntly honest with you.
So my non-volleyball
I'm not covering
related
myself in glory here.
Thing is, it's pretty cool, some of the other sporting stars that you see around the village, right? I don't know if you stayed in the village when you but random I don't know if you guys are poker fans. There's a guy named Tony G who's kind of a famous high stakes poker guy. And he's a Lithuanian guy by descent, and he was there with the Lithuanian basketball team for some reason, walking around the village. I was like, "Are you Tony G?" And he was kind of surprised that somebody would recognize him from his poker stuff. So that was sort of exciting for me as somebody who had watched him on TV.
But he was a staff member or a player?
Yeah, he was on their staff. He had some connection to basketball, and he's a pretty prominent Lithuanian guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he lives and all that in Australia, I think, but but he's Lithuanian heritage, so. That was cool, and you see Serena Williams around and whatever, like that kind of stuff is fun.
Yeah. How about you? Best non-volleyballing story? Could be celebrations. What did you do to celebrate? You won the Olympic gold medal.
Yeah, we went to a pub, but the celebration didn't went so well because the pub closed quite soon. I mean, and you don't realize when you become Olympic champion, like in that moment, you're not 100% sharp, and you are overwhelmed with feelings and people who are close to you. Then you receive phone calls from highest politicians and like all that stuff where you think like, what's going on here? You're in that bubble. But we try to celebrate it a bit, and I went to a pub and a discotheque, and I've been on a dance floor with my mom and my father, which is also like the situation where you like, what's going on here? And
that's cool though.
Yeah, that was really that was kind of weird. No, but the other thing, like throughout the whole journey,
it's only weird
is
if you
like,
make it weird.
I mean, as a German, you have like a couple of superstars who are in your Team Germany squad. So for sure, you have 2, 3, or 4 which are superstars for you. But I mean, coming from the US, like often the superstars from what we see, they come from the US, like all these track and field guys, tennis players. And for sure you have like single athletes, Roger Federer from time to time, and like Djokovic. But if you just see the amount of superstars in the world of sports, I mean, the US is the biggest number. And
I had that with Michael Johnson.
And you've
once.
seen them like
whoa.
like them hanging out together, which you often don't get. Like that, the best track and field athlete is then hanging out with the superstar from the dream team, and you follow each one on their own stage, and then you see that they actually get that feeling of being honored to be with the other, and that creates a situation of 2 superstars together having a swag of 1,000 superstars, like, and then all the others around that. That's really really cool, because it is a situation that you will never see on TV. You will never experience. You will just experience at the Olympic, and often at the food situation. And then you see like, okay, even the biggest star for you is even eating crap or eating healthy food with another star, and they sit down in a mensa which is not glorious, not golden. It's just easy stuff, and people are so calmed down. Even LeBron James has to stay in line for getting his burger, and then you are behind him if you're lucky. That's what the Olympics are about, and that's what I still experience quite well.
Amazing. Favorite things about London while you're here? Whilst you're here? Non-volleyball related?
As I said at the beginning, I'm a soccer fan, and I really didn't know that the Olympic Stadium, where we celebrated our win and we had the closing ceremony in, actually later on got converted into a soccer stadium for West Ham. And as West Ham...
I watched Mo Farah win the Olympic gold in there, and that was some night in London 2012.
And
we won like 4 or 5 gold medals that night.
It came to the situation that my club played, I think it was the quarterfinal or semifinal in the EuroLeague 2 years ago against West Ham. And I went to that stadium because it was printed on my ticket. But until I went to that area, it's in the west of London, right?
Yep.
Or northwest, east end?
Yeah, West Ham in East London.
Okay.
Yeah.
West Ham in East, okay. Sorry about that. But
I
I realized in that moment I'm in that stadium by watching on the way over there a strange building which doesn't fit into that scenery, and I got that thinking, oh, I've seen that building before. Actually, it was the Olympic Village. I lived in that village for 2 weeks, and then in that moment I realized on my photos, because I checked the photos which are on an iPhone related to the area where you took that photo, I realized, hey, this is the Olympic Stadium. So I've seen the picture which I did, like the selfie in that closing ceremony, and that is maybe related to my career, but that has been a very funny story, also showing how bad my memories are.
Yeah. Favorite thing about London for you to finish?
I like how you guys talk over here.
You sound like you're from London.
Yeah, well,
that was Paul
we got to walk
That
with
was
your
Paul
boy scouse last night, who's from Liverpool.
Yeah, you got a bit of the Scouse accent.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get you the Bristolian accent. Hello, Babber, Babber, something like that. Sorry, people are starting to look around at me a little bit. Okay, that's all we've got time for. That's the last 15 minutes. We are here in London. This podcast will come out just after the event. We don't know who's going to win this event today, but we know that there's going to be a lot to talk about next time that we're on the Crowncast. We're going to be coming out every other week, myself, Julius, and Richie alongside me. You can download us from wherever you get your podcast from, or you can find us on YouTube. No problem. Thank you very much for tuning in. That was the first ever Crowncast. First of many, hopefully, fellas. Have a good week, and we hope to see you, if not before, in 2 weeks' time, or in Helsinki. Get your fleece on, Richie. Okay, thank you. Have a great day, guys, and enjoy if you are watching the rest of London.
Thank you.